this? What's happening? Dad? I'm right here at home. Why is he panicking? Ayurveda is the best? Quantum healing? Vaccination is business? Western medicines are reductionist chemicals? I think this needs a video. Welcome back to Science is Dope. After a long hiatus, I'm back, and this time I've got something juicy for you. In this episode of Pseudoscience Police, we're gonna talk about Dr. B.M. Hegde. If your parents are getting medical advice and it's not Ayurveda or some kind of herbal home remedy, it's probably from Dr. B.M. Hegde. And it makes sense to listen to him, right? I mean, he is a super qualified, super specialized cardiologist who is a recipient of multiple awards, including the Padma Vibhushan. So everything he's saying has to be correct, right? Nope. That is a logical fallacy. I'm going to talk about that. I'm also going to talk about some of the things Dr. Hegde has said and how he promotes quackery and why he does that. And later, I'm also going to get on call with Dr. Abby Phillips, who helped me a lot with this video, to talk about what the medical community thinks of Dr. Hegde. There's something called the Nobel disease. It's not a real disease, but rather a pattern among Nobel Prize winning scientists where they go on to promote scientifically unsound ideas, usually later in life. For example, Luc Montagnier, who was the Nobel Prize winning discoverer of the HIV virus, who later did studies on the idea of water memory. His study never passed peer review. Note that these are Nobel Prize winning scientists, probably the most accomplished individuals in their respective fields. And I don't think you need a better example to show that it's not your qualification or accomplishments that give validity to your claim. A version of the Nobel disease can be seen among a lot of individuals who have not won the Nobel Prize but have some significant scientific achievements of their own, but go on to promote pseudoscientific ideas, and among them Dr. B.M. Hegde. If someone comes to you and makes a claim, and when you ask why you should believe that, they say because Dr. B.M. Hegde said so, they're not being logical. This is a fallacy called appeal to authority. Something doesn't become true because someone said so. It needs to have convincing evidence backing it up. You can be Albert Einstein himself, and until there's convincing evidence backing up whatever you're saying, there's no reason to believe you. And the converse of this is also true. Without any scientific qualifications whatsoever, you can make a claim, and if there's evidence backing up your claim, then yeah, people are gonna listen to you. Don't let Dr. Hegde's qualifications fool you. He is a proper quack. He has promoted quack therapies like homeopathy. He is a champion of the placebo effect.
Patient must have faith in you. When once he has faith in you, that's called the placebo effect. You will get cured.
He has flagged TEDx speeches where in the description you can find a note from TED saying, "Don't refer to this for medical advice." Still, there are people that treat his word like gospel. So let's look at what he says. You look at any of Dr. Hegde's speeches and you will come out with a message that modern science or scientific medicine, he calls it Western medicine by the way, these are bad, while something holistic like Ayurveda is good. Let's look at all his main claims.
It's the money power of the drug lobby that has made it, and the government helped it. The American government helped it. Actually, there was a demand in the American Constitution itself to demand that this monopoly of medical treatment should not be there, but that was deleted because the drug lobby worked, because drug lobby was held by the richest people in America. And even today, the drug lobby is the one that runs science.
Vaccine is a big business. After all, drugs can be given to ill people. It is just about 5% of the population in a given day. But vaccine is to be given to everybody who is born. So it's a big business, isn't it?
The modern medicine is the cause of death. Did you know that? No. When doctors went on strike in Israel recently, hardly anybody died.
I wrote, there is no pill for every ill, but there is an ill following every pill. Like for example, you take anything to bring down your blood sugar artificially. with chemicals. That has lot of side effects. And most of the actually diabetic problems, many of them are due to the drug side effects rather than the diabetes itself. And diabetes should be controlled naturally.
These are quotes that he often says. He says that modern medicine creates pills for diseases that need to be cured naturally, and all of this is done to fill the pockets of those in power. Now, this is a version of the big pharma conspiracy theory. I'm not saying there's no corruption in modern medicine. When there's money involved, human greed comes into play, and there are people that do bad things for money. In fact, my last video was about a doctor who wrote a fraudulent paper and caused a panic around vaccines, all because he could make some money out of it. Dr. Hegde has a lot of such stories about corruption in medicine, and he always uses it to point out why modern medicine is bad. But wait, you know what else is run by humans? Alternative medicine. So there is greed and corruption in alternative medicine also. In fact, I would argue that there is more greed and corruption in alternative medicines because some people know they're deliberately running a fraud, and they still do it because they can make money out of gullible people.
आप में से ब्लड कैंसर कितनों को है? ब्लड कैंसर वाले खड़े हो जाओ. ब्लड कैंसर 3 महीने में अच्छा हो जाता है.
Coming back to scientific medicine, just because there are corrupt people doesn't make the process of medicine bad. What makes modern medicine so superior over anything else is the fact that it's evidence-based. Things don't get approved until they meet a strong standard of evidence through clinical trials. No such standard of evidence exists for alternative medicine. In fact, we've seen how low the standards of approval are before certain alternative medicines enter the market. Now, this evidence, Dr. Hegde has something to say about it.
And you all say Western medicine is evidence-based, Indian medicine is not evidence-based. What is evidence? It is the evidence that is created. You can create evidence.
This is another logical fallacy. When the average person hears this, they're going to think how all evidence in medicine has to be faked, or maybe that evidence is a bad thing. Not true. Yeah, fraudulent studies do come out, but those kinds of studies are so rare. In fact, nearly all evidence in modern medicine is based on proper, genuine studies. How do we know they're genuine? Because they're independently peer-reviewed. Peer review assesses a study for its methodology, whether it takes care of biases, upholds evidence standards, and whether it draws conclusions properly. If a study fails to pass peer review, then its evidence is simply unreliable. You know what some people do when they can't get their study to pass peer review? Let's look at Nobel disease victim Luc Montagnier and what he did with his study that showed water had memory. That would have been an amazing finding had his results been grounded. But no, he couldn't pass peer review, so you know what he did? He published his study in his own journal. Talk about conflict of interest. Another thing that people usually do is publish in a journal that doesn't do peer review. The Journal of Science and Healing Outcomes is one such journal, and guess who's on the editorial board? Yep, BM Hegde. They have a system called super peer review, which they say uses peerless expert track record and a second user specialist in the particular field of study under consideration to review the manuscript. Sounds fishy. Let's see who they allow to publish on their journal through their super peer review. Biswaroop Roy Chowdhury, who is a well-known anti-vaxxer. There are so many anti-vax sentiments that he has stated. You can see my last video. Tanay has spoken in detail about him. Now, this journal promotes a lot of quackery. I'll leave links to its archive down below. You can see how the journal has published articles on immune boosting, detoxification, energy healing, all of which are well-known quack therapies. If Hegde hates evidence that is created so much, why is he the emeritus editor-in-chief of this journal that is in the business of creating fake evidence?
All Western medicine tablets are chemicals, reductionist chemicals, whereas all Eastern medicines, Tibetan, Chinese or Indian, are holistic herbs. As a holistic herb, the body's intelligence accepts as mine. Reductionist chemical, the body says this is poison and I must throw it away, and it's thrown into the liver. So all the Western medicines that I give and you take are not going to help you at all, and it's only your faith in me that helps. Kairashin solluvaangale.
According to Hegde, any kind of reductionist chemical that we use to treat one disease can cause side effects that need to be treated with more drugs. The only way around this is a more holistic approach as seen in multiple schools of medicine like Ayurveda. Dr. Hegde is the director of Cited Wellness Limited, which is the parent company of Sugar Free, which uses an artificial sweetener called aspartame in its products, which has been criticized for being a possible carcinogen. Now that is still debatable, but my question is, isn't this a reductionist chemical that they're adding to their products? I've never heard him say anything about that though. Here's their annual report showing Hegde as a director and how much money he's made. So he's also a hypocrite.
Whereas all Eastern medicines, Tibetan, Chinese or Indian, are holistic herbs.
The word holistic is a quackery term. In fact, when I made my video on pseudoscience buzzwords, I should have probably included the word holistic. The word is often used by quackery apologists to describe how their medicine doesn't just treat the disease, it treats the body as a whole. That's code for doesn't really know what it's doing. Here's a paper that's published in a peer-reviewed journal, by the way. I'll leave links to it down below. It talks about all these quackery terms, including the word holistic. It has also debunked a lot of the arguments that Dr. Hegde tends to use. And it's particularly useful for medical professionals or people who hear arguments like these all the time.
But who listens to all this? Nobody wants this because it's not generates money. If you have anything which generates money, there are a lot of people interested in it. For example, I have discovered a new electromagnetic device for heart attack.
Whoa, what is he talking about?
For example, I have discovered a new electromagnetic device for heart attack, etc., etc. Now, I don't want to commercialize. The minute there are a lot of people wanting to give me millions of dollars if I want to sell the idea to them. But I don't want to do that because they'll exploit the whole thing.
Okay, I found details of this device, and when I saw some of the images, I didn't know whether to laugh or whether to feel bad for the people who've been victimized by this. This lady has gotten a stroke, and you see that device that's tied to her head, looks like a mobile phone. That is the BM Pulse device. Heart disease, BM Pulse device. Constipation, BM Pulse device. Your leg is not working, BM Pulse device. I'll leave a link down below. You can go check out the details for yourself. In that clip that I showed in the beginning, he says that he's not commercializing this because he doesn't want to. That's not true. He has tried to commercialize this. This is from the abstract of the study on this device. That doesn't sound like avoiding commercialization to me. I'm not going to say anything more about this because I think anyone with half a brain should be able to see that this is an absolute fraud and money grab. But if you can't, then your mind is probably already made up and nothing I say is going to change that.
Quantum healing is you create your own thoughts, and these are quantum thoughts. And the thoughts heal you. Because if you go a little deep into quantum physics, the Planck's quotient says every second, your matter and energy change 1044 times, which is called a Planck's constant.
What he says makes no sense at all. I've featured this in a video before. The word quantum refers to quantum physics, which is the topic that the average person doesn't understand very easily. So these pseudoscience peddlers, they take advantage of that fact. They hijack the word to make it sound like they're talking about something profound. Hegde is like a mountain of content and material that you can keep researching forever. Keep digging on YouTube and the rest of the internet and you'll find other stuff he has said. He's endorsed a quack Ayurvedic product that claims to be able to control diabetes. You can see him literally holding the product and endorsing it.
Here, these boys have done not a reductionist science, but the whole thing. The whole is here. It's the whole that matters, not the bit.
If you go to their website, all you can find are testimonials, no actual studies on the product. I was able to find studies on these ingredients in Sugarnoka and found that they can cause liver toxicity. He said that silver nanoparticles have the capacity to heal, and he's talked about how this idea has been used to regrow full fingers. Somebody's been reading a little too much about Batman villains. Anyway, the Mayo Clinic has said that silver has no known purpose in the body. It has some antimicrobial properties, but it cannot heal anything. He said some anti-vax statements in the past. He has some very conservative views on depression.
Why do you get depressed? Because you are frustrated. Why do you get frustrated? Because you are defeated. Why do you get defeated? Because of competition. Why is competition? For money. Ultimately, it comes to money.
There's more stuff you can find out about him. He may be a retired medical doctor, but now he's making money by endorsing quack journals and quack products and just quackery in general. And by saying the stuff he does, he's legitimizing all of these, and people are going to listen to him and end up risking their lives. I got on a call with Dr. Abby Phillips, who was a liver specialist in the Liver Institute Rajagiri Hospital in Kochi. He regularly sees cases of liver injury caused by quack products like these, so I thought he was the best person to talk to about this. I also wanted his opinion on what the medical community thinks of Dr. Hegde. Welcome, Dr. Abby Phillips, to Science is Dope. Thank you, first of all, for taking the time out of your day to talk to me. And thank you for all the help you've given me, for all the sources you've helped me find for this video. So welcome, Doctor.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Okay, so first thing that I wanted to ask you was, when you're with your doctor friends and, in conversation, when this topic of Dr. B.M. Hegde comes up, what does everyone say? What is everyone's opinion?
Yeah, I mean, within the actual scientific community, the scientific doctor community, we don't have any conversations, serious conversations about B.M. Hegde. We don't. All the serious conversations about B.M. Hegde actually happens within the Ayush community. Oh. Because all of his work are actually now pseudoscience and quackery based. So they are the ones who share his videos. They are the ones who talk about him. They are the ones who keep him on a pedestal. So if you look at the proper modern medical practice, I think he's fallen off that pedestal long back. So we don't talk about him or his views anymore. And mostly we actually face discussions concerning him when we have to actually engage with a pseudoscience or a quackery peddler. That is how it goes. Otherwise, absolutely no serious takeaway points from Dr. B.M. Hegde's activities for us in the medical community.
Okay. And for everyone, for anyone who's active on Twitter, you should follow his account. It's Dr. Abby Phillips, @Dr. Abby Phillips. He posts a lot of tweets about how his patients come with these quack products and how these products cause liver injury. So I want to ask you, doctor, how harmful are these products?
A lot of people who come to me with liver injuries, a large proportion of them actually have herbal liver injury. And they consume these herbal products thinking that they are safe because they're natural. But it's actually not so, because most of these herbal products actually contain herbs or plant parts which are actually toxic to the liver or kidney. And they also contain a lot of adulterants and contaminants, which are actually toxic to different organ systems. So there is no regulation in making these products, or there is no evidence on using these products. No proper studies done on these, and they are just marketed as food or health supplements. So they actually escape that stringent study criteria. So which is why we get to see a lot of these patients who develop herbal-induced liver injury, and definitely these are not safe, because the worst scenario that I have come across, and many other hepatologists, liver specialists who have come across herbal liver injury, is something known as acute liver failure, where the patient actually has a good liver, he or she takes the herbal product and then develops a severe liver injury leading to complete liver failure, and there is associated brain failure known as encephalopathy associated with this liver injury. And the only way to save these patients is to put them through a liver transplantation. And without a transplant, some of them might die also. So this is the worst scenario that I have seen, and I have actually had patients who have died without a liver transplant because of herb-induced liver injury, and most of these are Ayurvedic products. Now, when I use the word Ayurveda, a lot of people actually come and tell me that, I am against Ayurveda, or I am against the tradition of Indian medicine. But that is not so. I mean, the whole point is that people should be aware that if there is something good in it, that remains to be proven. But side by side, we should also understand that there can be side effects, and this is what we are actually telling people to do, because ultimately it's the public and the patient population should actually benefit from all these treatment options, and they should also have the logic and reasoning to understand and identify what is going to be safe for them and effective for them, instead of some alternative medicine practitioner or a modern medicine practitioner telling them. So that empowerment from a patient point of view or a public point of view is what we look at, and not demeaning Ayurveda or not glorifying modern medicine. So this is also an important aspect in the kind of work that I do.
I think often people fail to see that, and often they have misconception regarding all these whatever medicines they take. I've heard so many people say that Ayurveda is completely safe, and I think the work that you do with evidence, you're showing that okay, these are the things that can happen. I think that's really great. So thank you, doctor, for all the work you do, and thank you for being on Science is Dope.
Thank you, Pranav. Thank you for having me.
Our parents, or at least a whole generation of us, are biased against anything that's Western and biased towards anything that's Eastern or Indian. And Dr. Hegde confirms all these biases. Dr. Hegde uses this Western-Eastern dichotomy really well in everything he says. This dichotomy doesn't exist. Science isn't Eastern or Western. Medicine isn't Eastern or Western. It belongs to all of us equally. The day we begin to embrace that is the day we begin to see bullshit when it's spoken right in front of us. You know what is a useful dichotomy? Let's classify medicine as effective or ineffective, and this effectiveness must be based on proper evidence. That is all. Thanks for watching. Next time someone bothers you with Dr. Hegde, share this video with them. Also, this video is probably gonna get a lot of hate, so check out the comment section. Try to spot the logical fallacies in the hate comments. And I'll see you in the next video. Till then, remember, science is dope. I think yeah, but eventually I see in 1 or 2 years, I think more voices will start coming up that go against this mainstream narrative. More voice. I mean, we're not going against Indian culture because it's cool or anything. We are going against things that can harm people. So
exactly. I mean, I don't know why people don't identify that aspect of our conversation, right? I mean, we are talking for the people, actually. I mean, not against.
Exactly.